Good morning, everybody, and hashtag CDC Whistleblower Land. I am here with Candace, who is at CES Days. We had at Tanner's Dad, and we're trying to get at Marcella Piper TE, but just technical difficulties abound. So let's really quickly start with Candace. You were on Leslie's Holy Hormones Honey show, and I just want to show people that right here, this tinyurl.com, VaxTrax4 is going to go, lo and behold, directly to your one click away right there to play the show. So that's exciting because we were having some technical difficulties with that before. Can you talk a little bit about the show and what you think people can learn if they go to that link, Candace?
Yeah, it was very, very interesting. In the beginning, Leslie had mentioned something about an article in JAMA, J-A-M-A, about mom's cognitive being and behavior after an autism diagnosis, and Marcella went right in there and said that it was post-traumatic stress disorder, and how we're just too vocal and we just need to be medicated for our behavioral outbursts. And that was really, really good. I just loved that, and I think we need a meme for that, like right now.
We have a meme. Did you not see what I just showed you, Missy? Somebody out there is already on top of it. Do you see your screen right now?
Okay, I see it now. Yes,
and,
yes.
And
yes.
This is something that you tweeted, so join the program, Missy. Join the program. But what it says is, let me see if I get this. Not only did you not listen when we told you exactly what happened to our kids, now you're trying to shut us up with your tranquilizers, and the tiny URL is not shutting up. It's also no shutting up, since I happened to see a tweet where it missed the T, so it just got corrected. But so there's that. You can be happy about that. But Marcella does such a beautiful job on the /VaxTrax4, where she just launches into how insane it is that that's the approach that they want to have. So you should definitely watch the show at /VaxTrax, T-R-A-X. It's, you know, a bunch of us are in our 50s, and that's like 8-track players, so it's VaxTrax4. But now I want to, did you look at this one? And we didn't plan at all what we were going to do today for this trends and tips, so we're just winging it. It's Sunday. We're exhausted because we've been working hard. Okay, this is VaxFacts2. And I want you to notice something. I actually counted. These are all side effects from the vaccines that they were testing. There are 820 categories. I had to count them. Anemia, bone marrow failure, hypochromic anemia, iron deficiency anemia, microcytic anemia, pancytopenia, hemorrhagic diathesis, anemic hemolytic autoimmune, jaundice. Are you kidding me? There are pages and pages in this confidential document, 820 categories, and in each category, like this one had 11, this one had 16, this one had 10.
Tell me, Dana, is this for all vaccines or just one particular vaccine?
This is a set of vaccines that they pulled together. Let's see if we can look at it. So again, this was something that we were never supposed to see. This is an internal regulatory confidential document that these autism vaccinia folks got a hold of and are publishing. Combined DTP, the acellular, and just quickly, a lot of people don't understand that the original pertussis vaccine had a lot of side effects and deaths associated with it. It was the full cell pertussis. So what they did was they created the acellular pertussis, which just means that they break down the cell wall and it's less of the actual molecule. That's what that means. Hepatitis B, enhanced and activated polio, and Haemophilus B. So basically, that's one visit at the doctor's office that set of vaccines is what a typical kid would get at like 2 or 4 months. I'm not sure when that particular cocktail, and it's called the Infanrix Hexa. So that's the name of the shot that has those things in it. So they decided to follow 16,000 of these kids to see what their response was. So the total dates were a year, but I wish I had pointed out more on this thing, because when you read this thing, and it's /vax/fax2, I couldn't believe when I got to the page where they started listing these things individually. And look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18 pages of shit that they couldn't pretend didn't happen following this vaccine.
And this is the same vaccine that we have to give our kids to go to 7th grade, supposedly.
Oh, is that the one, the Infarex? Oh, geez. But I mean, and I think how they probably set this up was they said, let's make so many different categories of things that everything looks rare. Well, when you say nervous system, skull, and spine therapeutic procedures, so the kid had to have neurosurgery as a result, but they said it was non-serious and there's only one, they're going to say, well, that was rare, right? Yeah. They're going to say that these 8 circulatory collapse. The hell does that mean? Decrease in nonspecific blood pressure disorders and shock. So they had 8 cases of that. They're going to say, well, that's rare. Hypotension, which means your blood pressure lowers so rapidly that you pass out, basically. Well, we just had 1, so that's rare. Okay, well, you take all these rare things together, and it's 820 categories of messed upness. Don't get me started. You got me started.
Wait a minute.
Okay, go.
Tell me the link where Marcella breaks it down for you.
What do you mean?
The DTP.
Oh.
The TDAP and the DTAP.
Did you tweet it? Is it on there?
Yeah, I tweeted it.
Okay, so let's go through your page and see if we can't find it. We're just winging it today,
down there. It was a while ago. It was a few days ago, and I've tweeted a billion tweets since then.
Because she's our #1 tweeter. You want to?
Or just go to vaxtruth.org.
Okay, there we go. See, again, like here we are, even though we're trying so hard to create a library for y'all to find things in real time, it's still really difficult. Our work is not done for categorizing how to find stuff. It's just not. Okay, so she did the DTaP. Let's talk about whooping cough.
Yes.
I think, let me just play around and see if the tiny
URL. There it is. There's a meme for that.
More coughing, I think. Yep, more coughing, same place. So this is /more coughing, so you can remember it. When you have someone talking about whooping cough, the DTaP, the 7th grade shots, why is there more whooping cough? Were they vaccinated? Were they not vaccinated? Golly gee willikers, I wish I had access to all the data on this. Just remember /more coughing, and you'll find little Miss Marcella Piper Terry, who puts herself in some sort of trance and takes her 15 years of researching the bejesus out of this and puts it all in one place. That's way over my head and most people.
Yeah, but wait a minute. She breaks it down.
Right.
For a lay person, and I took 7 pages of notes. I got halfway through it. I'm presenting them to the school nurse. I'm going to write a letter to our school district. And, this is all fact. It's no fluff. Right. This is what this is what they're giving our children. This is why our kids are sick.
And look at this. 871 deaths reported to VARS from the acellular pertussis vaccine.
And only 1% is reported.
And only 1% is reported. And we can easily get you that stat that's reported by big medicine that only 1% of all negative reactions to everything they ever do is reported. And that's a link right here, right? But 255 deaths from 2000 to 2012 from whooping cough, and 221 of them were in kids under 3 months of age, and yet we have 822 deaths from a vaccine that contains acellular pertussis. You can't argue with that anymore.
Now let's talk about how they safety tested the DTaP after they did away with the DTP.
You're on your own there, girl. Go.
Okay, so Marcella explained it to me, and they held it up against the whole cell DTP and created DTaP, which was less dangerous. And so they had no baseline. They just compared it to the first one. And here's another thing that she explained, and I'm going to try to make this
okay. Wait. Let me pause you right there because that came out a little confusing. Bottom line is, nowadays, when they're studying vaccines, there is no such thing as a placebo. They call it a comparator. They don't even try to disguise the language that they're using, that they're comparing whatever vaccine they're trying to bring to market or say is safe, and they're comparing it to, quote, a comparator, which is oftentimes just another vaccine. They don't even try to disguise the fact that they're not trying to study anything against placebo anymore. And then the other really quick thing is that she explained was what's happening with the DTaP vaccine is people aren't getting symptomatic and sick, but what they're getting is colonized parapertussis, which is the kissing cousin of the whooping cough, and most likely becoming contagious with parapertussis, which is probably what most of these outbreaks are. Okay, now go into what you were saying, Candace.
Well, that's what I was going to say. But at the same time, doctors are telling families, you know, everybody that's going to be around this new baby needs to get the DTaP.
Which is the last thing that
not the DTaP, the Tdap. That's for children. That's for children and adults over 3 years old. So,
which the research is suggesting is actually making you a contagious carrier of parapertussis, which will cause whooping cough.
That was created in 1991, and we know from the flu vaccine that viruses morph.
Right.
So it's been since 1991 since they've updated this DTaP or Tdap.
Okay, Candace, now tell us a little bit about what you feel like works best on Twitter, where you went from having 0 followers when you started to 1,251. What seems to work the best for you? What's the stuff that gets the most retweets and the most conversations going?
I think the live link and a meme and the visual, you know, I mean, plus the CDC whistleblower hashtag. Since we've perfected our tweets, I've slowed down a little bit because I'm always trying to figure out who to tag, and you know, who's going to
explain that to people. Explain the tagging concept to people and what that results in as far as our goal of 1 billion impressions. Hashtag break 1 billion.
Well, if you tag somebody, it's going to make an impression on somebody's page, and that's going to increase our impression status. That's what an impression is, and we have 700 million impressions on Twitter. So that's what an impression is. That's when we tag somebody, some high tweeter that's going to retweet 347 times.
And that'll
bring us mega impressions.
So if you tweet someone and you tag them with their handle, like let's say @Rosie, that's just one impression for you. But if Rosie goes, oh wow, this is really cool, retweet, and she's got 3 million followers, that immediately becomes 3 million impressions and 3 million people that could potentially hit retweet. So that's the whole targeting. And you talk for a second. I'm going to mute myself. I hear kids coming up to harass me, so talk for a second.
Yeah, so, you know, Kirstie Alley, @Kirstie Alley, is big in parental rights. She doesn't think that the government should intervene at all in telling us that we need to vaccinate. And Paul Offit is trying to say that we need to have our kids taken away if we don't vaccinate. This is still the United States. We have our First Amendment right, freedom of religion. We get to choose. It is a basic human right. It is a civil right. Getting Mississippi and West Virginia out of their muck. They have no exemptions. So that's good news, but we have to support them and get in there and help them however we can and spread the news that they don't have any rights down there. That's a civil rights issue. It's a First Amendment rights issue. So we need to go after that.
Now you can see Candace with her sandwich board on, yelling at the people driving by CVS, don't vaccinate! Anyway, okay, really quickly, let's talk about this one. I'm going to read this. This is directly from the, it's /Illumitism4. We have a whole slew of stuff on aluminum. In young children, a highly significant correlation exists between the number of pediatric aluminum adjuvanted vaccines administered and the rate of autism spectrum disorders. People need to understand that the reason aluminum is in vaccines, it is a weak antimicrobial, but a super, super strong immune modulator, meaning your immune system steps up and goes, holy shit, what was that? So that's the reason why aluminum is this big player in all of this, and it's really starting to look like it's a huge piece of the problem. So when you click on the link that's there, you're going to see right here the quote, highly significant correlation. So that's the beauty of the meme that has the link in it. My mom just came up to do water stuff, so it's going to get noisy. So we'll sign off. But this is the kind of thing that when people try to come at you, like right now, Sherry Tenpenny is being banished from Australia, basically, for her wanting to come educate people about cost and benefit on vaccines. And they continue to say publicly on the news that there's no proof that vaccines have anything to do with autism. This right here, if you can remember /Illumitism4, is a right out of the documents that they're saying our stuff needs to be in for them to believe it. So remember that one. This is Marcella. She does a great job explaining the concept of treating kids with autism successfully. And then this one we found was super interesting. The concept of this one is Marcella, Tim, and Candace were all on the radio the other day, and Tim did a really good job at one point of just popping into, yeah, but half of our kids are sick, tinyurl.com/1 and 2. And the goal would be that as you talk to people, as you're on the radio, as you have opportunities to have people hear you, you want to, as much as possible, speak in references, and that's what the tiny URLs provide you with. So any other comment to that, Candace, and then we'll shut down for today.
We have so many facts. Not stop. We're going to stop autism. We're going to get a congressional hearing in 2015. We're just going to stop all this nonsense. And again, vaccine is just a theory. Vaccine benefit is just a theory. There's herd immunity hoax. That's just a theory. Herd immunity. This is all just a big fat way for pharma to make money, and I'm done with it.
You know what's funny, though, is we feel totally confident that we're going to be able to educate parents about the cost and benefit of vaccines, but what we haven't been able to do is have Tim's stomach stop growling, my mom stop interrupting me in the middle of it, your dog's barking, Tanner flipping through magazines. It's just so funny. We love you guys. We're in this for the long haul. We're getting super close to #BreakABillion. Always, always, always. #CDC whistleblower. There's 35,000 people doing this. We're just trying to do these videos to help guide anybody who might be interested in what infrastructure we're trying to bring to the table. And then the #BeOneLess is just, we're trying to populate that with super hardy tangible references for people and solid memes. Love you guys. Happy New Year. Candace?
Be well. We're praying for all your kids and my kid too. Thanks for your help on jumping on #CDC whistleblower to join us in bringing truth to the masses.
See you there.